Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast at Denver Comic Con. I am Ryan. To my left is
Brad.
To my right is
James.
And this week we saw Oz, the great and powerful.
Yeah.
Kneel before Oz.
Like Zod.
Right, guys?
Right, but Oz. Yeah,
And you switched the letters.
Right?
It's clever.
Dude,
well done.
I know, right? So I got some bad news, guys.
Aww.
Wait, is the podcast gonna die?
Yeah.
So-
and way to put it at the beginning of the show.
Right?
Good job.
Wait, there's bad news? Is there?
I
didn't know
got
about
an iPhone 5.
Oh.
Okay.
Did you
and
drop
so,
it?
Good.
My
Okay.
wife goes to school really early, and so she didn't lock. She closed the bedroom door, and I really wanted to listen to our podcast last week, so I used those shitty iPhone earbuds
That came with them?
that came with it, and they're supposed to be like new and cool, and they're supposed to be better for you because they're
Yeah.
the iPhone 5 ones. They're fucking horrible.
Yeah.
You know what you should totally
They're
do?
cheap.
You should go to tweakedaudio.com, check out the amazing earbuds they have, because I couldn't use my natural version 3,
Right.
which are amazing.
Yeah.
And if you go there, pick out any earbuds you'd like from tweakedaudio.com, and at the checkout, in the promo code, enter Real Nerds, one word, REEL, nerds. You get a third off your complete order.
That's
Exclusive to Real Nerds listeners.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is, and they're so cool. I've been using them every night this week because I've been having trouble sleeping, and I plug them into my Kindle Fire. My wife is sleeping next to me, doesn't even bother her.
That's music to my ears, Ryan. I can't not do it like a commercial. It's sad.
You can't make it natural at all.
I spent so many years like making fake commercials. Like I can't just make a natural commercial.
Right.
That sounds
But
like
see,
such a great
I thought I did
deal.
such a good job, like segueing
Yeah,
right
that was
into
really
a
good.
commercial.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, you're
you
very
guys,
smart
you
for
guys
that.
were
It's
really
a very
concerned.
practical application.
You guys were really concerned. You're like, oh my god, what's wrong this week?
Yeah. I thought the real problem was that you got an iPhone 5 at first.
No, the iPhone 5 is amazing.
Yeah.
It's way better than my piece of shit HTC One.
Yeah, you bought a bad Android phone.
I have a friend
Yeah.
who always badmouths Apple products
Yeah, me.
irrationally. What? Yeah.
I'm not irrational about
I'm
it.
not talking about you.
Oh.
Why is everything got to be about you, James?
Wow, because
So
I'm a friend who badmouths Apple products
Um,
irrationally.
But it says it's dumb and like oversimplified for idiots, like
Yeah.
Apple phones.
Right.
But all I ever see is like my friends with Android phones, like replacing them every couple months or so. So, and I've still got my 3GS from 3 years ago. So
Absolutely.
Well,
And-
but you still have yours in the box. That's why. Like you haven't you haven't actually touched it yet. So that's
No,
a
check
little
out-
bit
Yeah.
unfair.
Do you see the new freaking cases they got for him?
you get like a new case for everything, like
Yeah.
so often. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool, huh?
So it doesn't have Spider-Man on it. It's got Burton. What?
I know.
Like you're a snowboard all of a sudden?
Well, no, I just like I like the
I cannot imagine Ryan snowboarding.
No, I
He's
like
just
the
posing
cloth
as a-
one that you had, and I finally
Yeah.
found one for my iPhone.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Because you can just
Totally, and it has.
it like holds onto your
You
hand.
can just
for you.
hold it.
Yeah, it doesn't slide out.
So, hey, Burton iPhone cases. If you're listening, I just totally pimped out your iPhone case. So,
Send
money,
money.
please.
A friend of mine at work got one that the back of it looks like an old Game Boy, like the brick
Yeah,
Game
I've
Boys.
seen that.
Yeah, I've seen those,
Oh,
but they're only
man.
for 4S.
Yeah.
Oh, are they?
There's this badass Spider-Man one at Best Buy where you move it and his web like shoots out and stuff.
Dude,
But it's for
But it's only
4S,
for-
so it's bullshit.
you guys were old. Did you have a lot of those Game Boys? The big ones?
The gray
dude,
brick
the
one?
green,
Yeah.
the
I punched
pea
mine
color
in
one?
the face.
I actually had two, so it was unfair of me to
Why'd
say
you bring that?
that.
He's just bragging now.
Yeah.
Well, no. I lost one on an airplane. I didn't like have two. I wasn't like playing, Super Mario in one hand or Super Mario Land in one
I'm the
hand and
most
Super Mario Land
specialist
2 in the
kid
other.
ever. I'm playing two Game Boys
Yeah.
at
See,
once.
my family was so poor that when we got one, we burned through the batteries so fast we always had to wait to get batteries
We
because
took 4 batteries,
yeah,
4 AA's.
I didn't
Why
know
didn't your
being
family-
poor is funny.
Why didn't your family buy rechargeable batteries if they were that poor? Because they weren't smart.
What?
1989, I didn't think rechargeable batteries were that.
Prevalent? I'm
Prevalent.
sure they were, dude.
I don't
That's
know.
what's in your car. That's a rechargeable battery. Just hook one of those up to your Game Boy.
Me being
Hindsight's
poor.
2020,
You know what?
James.
All right.
James is making fun of me how like cold and heartless I am because I'm just making a broad joke about Jewish people, and this guy is like, you're poor, you fucking piece of shit. I'm sorry, my mom worked really hard to provide for us, James, and couldn't afford the luxury of rechargeable batteries for the Game Boy.
Go back to Highlands Ranch, James.
yeah, go back to no,
Oh,
no, no,
son of a
no.
bitch.
Go back to Lone Tree.
Oh, you asshole.
Anyways, if you've never listened to Real
By the way, we're a movie podcast.
yeah. If you've never listened to Real Nerds Podcast, every week we go see usually the big movie that comes out this week. I've already mentioned it. It's Oz, the Great and Powerful.
Oh yeah.
So stay tuned for that. That's at the end. We also touch on some fan mail, real fan mail this week. We also talk about what we've been watching, and we segue right into some great box office numbers, DVD releases, Blu-ray releases, and then we do some real news, followed by a comic book this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my week, and Cora supplied me with a comic book this week.
It's a special fan given.
It's a fan comic book corner.
Yeah.
And then we go ahead and review the movie. So stay tuned for that and our shenanigans. But first, like every week at Real News, real nerds, we start with fan mail.
Fan mail! It's okay. Brad will just cut all that. It'll sound good. We'll be professional sounding.
Brad's pretty good at making me sound good.
Yeah.
So speaking of mail, I finally got around to checking the iTunes comments, which we haven't had any initially for like the first year we were doing this.
Yeah.
So I just now read them, and I have to give a shout out. Thanks to all the people who did that.
Right.
Because
Oh yeah.
they're actually like really good comments, and we got a perfect 5 stars.
So yeah.
Except for that one.
Except for that one who said we were horrible.
that guy.
But that was from a while ago.
Yeah, that was back when we were bad.
But the ones that are there are just really like,
thank you.
like content specific. So it actually gives us
Exactly.
real feedback.
And what's cool is, touching on it is it feels like you connect with somebody.
Yeah.
It's reach out and touch someone.
One, because we were talking about this before the show, is like I've started realizing that there are a bunch of people out there who listen to the show. Because I mean, we see the numbers, we know that people
Stitcher.
are listening. Yeah, like we're not doing horrible. Yeah, we're all right. So I know there's a lot of people out there who listen, but then we just don't get a lot of feedback back sometimes. And sometimes, especially when the movies are bad for a while, you feel like, oh well, maybe is anybody
Maybe it's
listening?
time to get rid of James.
And so it's yeah, maybe we need to change some stuff up. Maybe I should just go.
But
home.
yeah, I usually hear like, oh, you guys do a good job. It's a good show. But there's actually like content specific stuff that
Yeah.
says like,
I
oh,
agree.
that's what we do well, or what we don't.
Or what we don't do well. We'll always take criticism
So,
too.
yeah, it just made my day.
Yeah.
reading those.
Isn't that right? It's nice.
Yeah. And that is all to say, like, right into the show sometime.
Yeah, because we love sharing your opinions.
If you got a question, something you've been thinking about with movies, let us know and we'll talk about it.
Just like this one.
Yeah. Mac Rebonics, at Mac Rebonics on Twitter, has been tweeting us a lot lately.
Yeah.
And he ran into us at Comic-Con, and he ran into you at Sam's Club.
Yeah, I was at work, and all of a sudden this guy comes up behind me. And he's like, "Hey, do I know you?" And I stood up and I was like, "I don't know. I'm not sure." And he's like, "No, I recognize you. Were you at Denver Comic-Con?" I was like, "Yeah, I was. I was." And he goes, "You're the host of the podcast. You're the host of that real
co-host."
Know your role.
Still, it was like this moment where like I was
cool.
I was out there in the wild, in the wilderness, and somebody
That's
said,
pretty funny.
"I recognize your face from that audio show you do."
No,
It was
that's
pretty
awesome. So yeah, he wants to be on the show, and I told him to send me what movie he wants to see, and we'll try to fit you in because we have a couple guests coming up. Like next week, we have some
local filmmakers,
local filmmakers that will be on the show with us. So that'll be really fun.
Yeah, well,
If you want to know what movies we're going to see, there's a list on the website called Film Schedule. Pop open that page, and it'll tell you a general idea of like what we're looking forward to.
And let's give a hand for Brad on our new webpage again.
I'm holding a mic.
I hope you can hear that. No, I just say every time I click on it, it's so beautiful.
It does.
Make your wife do it.
Yeah, clap, Laura.
clap.
Fine, I'll put the sound effect in
Thank
myself.
you. And this is for.
She just flipped them
There's no
off.
sound
Wait.
effect for middle fingers.
Whoa! Our audience is getting up and cheering for Brad for his great job on the.
Thank you.
The
Thank you
website.
all. Thank you all.
Nice. Thank you, audience. So yeah, make sure you just send us what movie you want to see with us, and I'll definitely try to work something out.
What
with
movie
you.
did he see?
He saw a movie that is called. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's called what? He said, "I watched Screamers, The Hunting."
I've never seen Screamers.
They should do a Dead Space movie with these actors. I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
And I'm pretty.
Dead Space or Screamers?
I know what Dead Space is. We'll
yeah, I
talk
know
about
what Dead
this.
Space is. It's a video game.
Yes.
That they did make movies for.
Well, they made those animated movies,
Yeah.
and honestly, I would like to see a Dead Space movie. I think that they could do a really good job of making.
I think so too. It'd be
Yeah.
cool. Because there are parts in that game that are actually pretty scary.
Yeah.
When you hear just noises and you're walking through dark corridors, I think it would be pretty effective. Not like Doom. but-
What? There's some weird stuff in this movie. This guy's face is opening up, and he's like a robot on the inside.
Cool.
I don't know what this is. This might be a shit show review.
So yeah, cool. We'll have to watch that and see because Brad doesn't have a PlayStation, so he's never played a Dead Space game.
Oh, I've played it. Don't you have my copy of Dead Space 2? Oh no.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. It's a really good creepy game, and would make for a good movie. It's kind of like The Thing, but in space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we also got an email from Dan from Ohio.
Hey, welcome back, Dan.
Yeah.
The turn of Dan.
And he says, "Greetings. I normally find your irrational hatred of James Cameron tolerable.
Way to go, James.
However, your recent knocks against aliens I cannot abide. I guess I should really clarify because I guess I haven't been very clear about it.
Well,
it's not that I hate James Cameron movies.
Yeah.
Because I love Terminator. I love Terminator 2.
Yeah, Terminator 2 is amazing.
It is.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Aliens, I said last week, is pretty good.
I didn't say it was pretty good.
You did not.
I said it was unwatchable at this point.
You did.
So
but
probably
I
just
think his later movies, Titanic and Avatar, are just not that good.
Yeah.
But
True Lies. True Lies is awesome.
True Lies is amazing.
Dude.
The Abyss is pretty good, I guess.
Abyss is
Yeah.
good.
I didn't like The Abyss the first time I watched it, but as I have revisited it, I like it more.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm just my brain isn't clear.
Yeah.
Maybe I
It's one of
used
those movies
to
I
like it.
want to rewatch. I always loved the cover art for it. I always thought it was really good.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
When I was a kid, I always got it confused with The Sphere because they are like the same movie.
Wow, he was so young to confuse those two.
right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Sphere came out when I was in middle school or
Yeah.
a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
Sharon Stone, when she was really hot. He says, unlike other director's cuts, James Cameron's cuts actually enhance the film and include substantive material. I think his Terminator 2 director's cut is pretty good.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's right, because you did talk about last week
I
about
did.
the Aliens
I
extended
don't
cut
like
not
the
being
Aliens
good.
extended cut, and maybe I didn't expand on it enough. The reason I don't is I think it drags too much.
Yeah.
Where I think Aliens works so much better as an action movie, and I think that really just slows the pacing down.
Well, I think that is one of the things, like, Titanic, there are reasons why that movie is so long, but I feel like as he's gone on, it's kind of like with Stephen King. Like, nobody edits Stephen King anymore, so his books are like 3 inches thick. Like, at some point, somebody needs to tell James Cameron, like, hey, there is an art to being concise, you know, and there is a reason why people do it. And sometimes his movies can get a little long-winded for that reason.
I agree, and he goes on to say, particularly in Aliens, I revisited the Alien saga last year after watching Prometheus, and was surprised how well Aliens held up. And the additional scenes helped tell a more complete and cohesive story, which in turn resulted in me liking the film even more than I had in the past. And that's fair. I mean, I'd say that me and you are kind of in... Brad, I don't know how you feel. Do you like Alien more than Aliens?
Yeah, the first one's moodier. Like,
Yeah.
I
Aliens
think
is
we
a
are
traditional
actually
action movie where it's
In the minority?
in the minority of
Oh,
that
absolutely we are.
feeling. I
Yeah.
think you're right, because there's scenes in Alien and the tension builds a lot better.
yeah.
And
It does more with less.
Yeah.
And
Which
I
I
think Ridley
appreciate more.
Scott's a better filmmaker, but
Yeah, right.
But Jim Cameron is pretty good. One of the things I do love about the Alien anthology or the Alien quadrilogy, whatever you watch, the behind the scenes of Aliens is everyone talks about how much of an asshole he is.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in those behind the scenes, they're kind of, they don't want to piss him off.
It's
but-
funny because, like, that is true, but then, like, the same thing is true if you go back and watch the special features on Terminator. But then Linda Hamilton wouldn't talk to James Cameron some days, and then she came back for the second one. Which
And
I mean,
married him.
The paycheck, yeah. But still,
Yeah.
It's not so much he's an asshole; he's just kind of a genius to where he doesn't
Yeah,
understand
and
how to
he's
deal
one of
with
those people.
And it's funny
He's like
too-
hard to work with, sort
Yeah.
of. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's a
Because
perfectionist.
you see that stuff and people don't like him, but then you watch when David O. Russell is screaming at Lily Tomlin, and you're like, dude,
Yeah,
really?
what a fucking dickbag.
right. But yeah, I guess I just wanted to clear up that I don't hate all of James Cameron's films.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy his earlier stuff, and I forgot about True Lies. I love True Lies.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think part of it is he doesn't do movies often enough.
Probably.
You know, like if he were able to just do a movie every couple of years and really have
hold on to your hat, sir.
Well,
Avatar 2 is 2014.
That's not the sequel I wanted.
What sequel do you want him to work on?
I don't know. Titanic 2?
The Rising?
Titanicer? Actually, that's a real movie, Titanic 2 Rising.
I know. Didn't they make fun of it on MTV Movie Awards as Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller pitching that
Really?
movie to James Cameron?
I think I watched it
I'm pretty
drunk
sure.
once. I'm not kidding.
Anyways, Dan continues. On another matter, I recently had a chance to watch The Master, and I must say that I am in complete agreement with James's review.
Thank you.
Never
Oh,
have
that
I
was
seen
crazy.
so many great performances wasted on such a inane film.
Yeah.
The critical response that it has received perplexes me. So much so that I watched it a second time to no avail.
Oh my God!
You watched it twice.
Oh,
Wow.
bless you, sir.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Because PTA, if you don't get his movies, I don't know if I could watch it a second time.
And I don't know what I love his early work. Like I really love his movies, but he has stopped telling stories. Like the last 2 films he's made, I don't think he's telling stories anymore, and that is so frustrating.
I agree.
Because
I haven't
especially when
seen
he's
it, but after you told me about it, and I kind of had that feeling of watching trailers and like scenes from it,
yeah.
and I was like, I don't know if I want to see this.
There was an article this week on Slash Film where they were posting up that I guess there's an additional 20 minutes of that movie you can watch. That's like deleted scenes. Unless there's an entire plot in that movie, or in that 20 minutes, I don't know why there's like, what could he have cut out? Like, it's 3 hours long. Like,
And too, what really made me mad watching the Oscars is Joaquin. What is it? Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix. When they announced him for Best Actor, he's like, "I'm too good for this." And he like turned his head and didn't want to be recognized.
Yeah.
Then why the fuck did you show up, asshole?
Well, he's a rapper now.
Dude, he's a prick.
I know that was a myth, but I'm still always going to remember that at some point he was a rapper.
I don't know. I know you don't like the Oscars, but I mean, seriously, you're going to get like recognized for the work you do, and you're just going to be a total asshole about it.
Yeah. Like
you're going to get a raise from your boss, and you're like, well, thanks for that, dick.
Maybe like someone called his name, so he just turned his head. Like,
yeah.
No, he's purposely like that. He doesn't
Maybe-
accept awards. He
maybe-
doesn't. He's weird.
Maybe Kathy Bates was like farting right in front of him, and he was just like, "Oh God."
And then some people are like, why couldn't it be him in front of the Viper Room?
Now that said, I would still rather hang out with
His brother River
farting
Phoenix
Kathy
died in
Bates.
front of the Viper Room.
No, that's horrible. That was
Did
horrible.
anybody get that joke? Man,
No.
too soon?
Yeah, too soon.
He's been dead for 20 years. So it was refreshing to hear a review that found the film to be as insipid as I found it.
Thank you. Man.
Regards, Dan. Hey, great hearing from you, Dan.
Absolutely, especially when you agree with me for once.
I know. Because James has been getting it from everywhere. The London Film Review.
Yeah. Please
Get
don't
over
say
yourself.
Please don't say
Yeah.
I get it from everywhere.
Anyways, you can write us at realnerds@gmail.com if you want to send us an email like Dan does, if you want to make it really long. You can leave comments at the end of every article, every podcast, every interview that we do on realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can call us 720-6nerds5. And I heard from Marky Mark, and he told me that he has to think of something to call us about. And when he does, he's going to ring us up.
Well,
That makes sense.
I hear that those movie filmmakers, like, they don't actually see a lot of movie films because they're so busy making them. So, maybe he's got to sit down and watch, like, The Master or something like that and then call us and be like, that was shit. I don't do it very good.
well, I think he's gonna be busy fighting giant robots. So,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He does have to
Doesn't
say.
have time for your
Right.
stupid calls, Ryan.
what city is next? Like Seattle? Like,
Do
Minnesota?
Transformers take place in different cities?
Did they ever get New York? I know they got L.A. Right?
No, they never did get New York.
I
Yeah,
guess
they should do New
Chicago
York.
was the second one, or the third
Yeah,
one.
Chicago
I've never
and
seen
LA.
the second one, so
Oh, really? It's not very good.
when I
Egypt,
heard that
they
there's
got all of Egypt.
robot
Yeah.
balls in it, I'm like, I don't know if I want to see that movie.
That's the best reason to see that movie.
Where else are you gonna see robot balls, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're wrecking balls between his legs.
That's what I call mine.
I mean, there's also like a little RV or RC car robot, and he humps some things. Like,
Nice.
yeah.
Wasn't
There's-
that in the third one? Was that little fucking
Yeah,
one in the third one?
he shows up in the third one too, but he doesn't hump anything.
I don't remember
He
anything
humps
about it.
he humps Megan Fox.
Of course.
Yeah.
You wouldn't if you were a robot.
Right.
Robots in disguise. Stuff we've been watching.
So this is the stuff we've been watching.
Let me get out my list, guys.
Oh my god, it's a list today.
I'm just going to mention off the top, last week I got the Dick Van Dyke Show on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah.
And it is amazing. You didn't think something in black and white would look so beautiful?
On
Dude,
Blu-ray.
it's so nice.
Oh.
It's so clear. Have you had a chance to watch the stuff you borrowed from me?
Not yet. No.
Yeah, when you do, it'll blow
Yeah.
your mind.
Well, I already saw the sample when I was here last.
Yeah, it looks like you're watching a play, like right in front of you. It's so clear and
Yeah.
bright. I've never seen. It sounds goofy, but I've never seen the Dick Van Dyke Show be so bright. And
Have you? Is there anything on the Blu-ray about how they did it? Like, is that show on film somewhere? Do they have
yeah,
it? at the
35
actual
millimeters.
canisters?
They
Oh wow, that's
they took
why.
the negatives and
Yeah.
cleaned them all up.
And you're saying like even the cuts, like because on the DVDs sometimes there'll be like they'll cut to a close up and it's like really blurry or something,
Yeah.
or it's like, or there'll be a flash.
It's not even in it, and the sound is so much better. I recently
That's great.
watched Oh How We Danced the Night We Met, and that's one of my favorite episodes of Dick Van Dyke ever. And there's when they're doing the You Wonderful You and they're dancing, oh man, you can hear things like he stepped on her foot twice and you can hear the crack. I've never heard that before. So it's great.
Wait, he broke her foot?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's how they fell in love.
It's a sound. It's edited into the show.
Yeah.
Like he didn't actually
No.
break her foot.
Her
Man,
foot.
I thought like they were doing a performance, and a little secret thing that nobody knew was that he oh man, he breaks her foot in that scene. Like,
Oh, no,
that'd be
it's-
crazy.
You can actually see him like land his foot far away from her foot in the shot,
and you see it really clear on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But I love the Saul in that one because Saul changes throughout the series.
Yeah.
But in that one, it's that goofy guy, and he says he makes a lousy first impression, and it's great. And if you've never seen the Dick Van Dyke Show, you owe it to yourself to watch it
That's cool.
because it's so good. I used to watch it on Nick at Night, and then Brad reintroduced me to it when the DVDs came out, and I fell in love with the show again. So. And now I have it on Blu-ray. I love it. And then this week I saw only 4 movies, but I decided I was going to start digging deep into my Robert Downey Jr. vault because I'm at the point where I only have that was dirty. I only have I think 4 movies left, and I'm getting 2 of them delivered next week. And I have to wait on Amazon until they become reasonable because he does a lot of independent movies.
Right.
And so on DVD, they hardly ever release them. So the first one I saw was actually his breakout role is in a movie called Less Than Zero. And it's based on Bret Easton Ellis, who wrote American Psycho.
Yeah, right.
He wrote the screenplay and the novel. And it's about these kids who graduate from high school, and Robert Downey Jr. plays a guy named Julian who is going to get money to start a record company from his dad called Tone Deaf Records. And it starts with him at their graduation, and then it cuts to black, and it fades to 6 months later. And Robert Downey Jr. is now like a junkie, and his friend who left to go to college and left him behind, and he kind of became part of the party scene in L.A. James Spader plays the drug dealer in it. Really young James Spader. It's really crazy. I think it's from 86 or 87.
Yeah.
And the movie is meh because it's really hampered by that 80s aesthetic where the coolest nightclubs are the ones that have like TVs on shelves and cocaine's the coolest thing you can possibly do.
We got so much money, we just got TVs sitting around.
Yeah. And they all wear, the neons and stuff. So it didn't age very well, but I will say the performance is not just by Robert Downey Jr. I forget the lead guy, but Janie Gertz is the actress in it. She's in The Lost Boys, but she's pretty good in it. And
Wait, The Lost Boys with Corey Feldman?
yeah,
You think she's met Corey Feldman? Do you think he was nice to her?
probably not.
Okay.
He probably would only come and shoot his scenes. He'd show up after everybody else and go through like a separate way and shoot his scenes and not say anything and just leave. So yeah, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is really good in it because they actually show him get progressively worse with his drug abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to watch it for the performances, it's good, but the rest of the movie, it's kind of cheesy and dumb. And guys, you know what happens when Robert Downey Jr. can't pay for his drug money? He has to become a gay prostitute.
I was just gonna. That's exactly what I was gonna suggest. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens to him.
Is there a documentary about his days as a gay prostitute?
No, but they show him going down on a guy, and his friend rescues him. And I'll let you guys in another
Rescues
spoiler.
him from.
Watch the movie. I'm not going to tell you the spoiler, how it ends.
I don't want to watch the movie.
The other movie I saw was a 3-hour movie by Robert Altman.
Oh, you watched The Master. Oh.
Called Shortcuts.
Yep.
Oh,
which
wow.
is actually, I think the movie's actually
Not
pretty
that short.
No, I actually think the movie's pretty good. It deals with a bunch of people and their lives centered around a certain part in L.A. And they all kind of tie together in a unusual way. Robert Downey Jr. is not in it too much, but he plays a makeup artist on movies. Andy McDowell's in it, Tim Robbins, Julianne Moore, Huey Lewis. We see more of Huey Lewis than you ever thought you'd see. But the performances are really good. I think Tim Robbins was really funny as the total asshole cop, where he hates the dog and he's cheating on his wife. with Frances McDermott's character. And when he finds out Frances McDermott's character has another boyfriend too, he gets all pissed off and he steals his dog from his kids and lets the dog go in a neighborhood. And then he leaves, and then at the end of the movie, he goes back and rescues the dog so it can look like he's a hero. And he plays this cop, and he's really funny in it. But there was this weird, like, always showing female bush in it, like constantly, and you see Huey Lewis's dick.
Whoa!
Like
whoa!
he goes to piss in the river, and in most movies they just show him like from behind. Nope, he just like whips his dick out and starts pissing. I guess they're going for
an R rating.
No, I guess they're going for authentic.
Oh.
But I think Jack Lemmon was so good in this movie. He has a monologue where there's a moment where Andy McDowell's child gets hit by a car, and he's in the hospital, and Jack Lemmon hasn't seen his son in it's his grandson, and they haven't seen each other in like 10-15 years or something. And he has a scene where he sits down and has this like 5 to 6 minute monologue telling the story about why he broke up with his son's mom, and it is so good. And you just miss like an actor like that because he's so good. And Lily Tomlin's in it. She's really good. Tom Waits is really good in it. I actually really enjoy the movie.
Cool.
I mean, it's really about nothing. It's just about people's lives.
Yeah, this big interconnected story.
Yeah. You saw it. Do you even remember it?
Not really, and it wasn't that long ago. Maybe 2009 I saw it, and like I'm trying to remember. At the end, there's like an asteroid, right?
It's an earthquake.
Earthquake, yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't tell if Chris Penn was killing that girl or if a rock hit her.
Oh yeah.
Because Robert Downey Jr.'s like, "What are you doing, man?" Because he was like gonna like rape her or something. But then they said on the news that she was killed by a falling rock.
Yeah, for the earthquake. Yeah.
So I didn't get that part.
Yeah, my memory of it's fuzzy. It wasn't a movie that really stuck with me because it's so disjointed.
But it's hard to stick with you because I mean it's 3 hours long and there's something like 20 actors in it.
Yeah.
So all the stories are all over the place, and I mean it's really good, and it was really sad. The little boy who got hit by the car who died, and then the jazz singer with her daughter who is a cello player, and it is a really good movie.
Cool.
You'd have to watch it. It's really hard to explain, but there's so much going on in it. It's not short, but it does cut a lot. So
My dad once told, when we saw Gosford Park, my dad told me that there, and I don't know where he got this from, but that Robert Altman didn't like the idea of like kids going to his movies, so he would purposely put things like the little bits of sex and stuff that's in Gosford Park into his movies to make sure they got R ratings. So maybe that's why he needed Huey Lewis's dick.
maybe.
Maybe Robert Altman just really wanted to see Huey Lewis's dick.
Hey Huey, I've been making this movie for like 6 months, and I forgot to put something shocking in it. Got any ideas?
But it's kind of weird because you don't expect someone like that to do that.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? It's
How does that phone call go? Like, you call up Huey Lewis and you're like, I'm making this movie and I'd really like you to show me your dick in it.
I'm pretty sure the part just would say it calls for full frontal nudity.
Yeah,
Right.
they kind of take care of that stuff ahead of time.
Yeah.
But I mean, if someone paid me enough money, I'd do it. Fuck it, who cares? The other Robert Downey Jr. movie I saw where he's only credited as Robert Downey is called The Pickup Artist, which stars Molly Ringwald and Dennis Hopper and
What? Like an old Molly Ringwald?
yeah, no, it's 1987, so
Oh, wow.
she's 18, 19 in it.
Yeah.
And he's only 21 in it, I think. And he plays this really cool pickup artist, guys, where he just walks up and down the street and picks up girls. And the beginning of the movie is really funny because he's literally walking up and down the street picking up girls and using these lines. And then it gets into this really weird Molly Ringwald's dad is in trouble with the mob, so she has to work to pay off his debt, but she also goes to Atlantic City and gambles all the time to win all the money for it. It's not that good. It's all right. There's some cool actors in it, but it's really ham-fisted and really corny at parts, so it's kind of hard to recommend it. I mean, it has a great soundtrack, though.
Let me guess. Robert Downey Jr. is pretty good?
Eh.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I
man.
mean,
that's the worst thing he's ever said.
I mean, you can only go so far when the material's not that good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's just
he's not a miracle worker.
It's like saying, is he good in Dreams? Well, I mean, the dialogue's all clunky and he's playing way over the top. I guess. I mean, he's not bad.
Good.
But that's like saying, hey, is Molly Ringwald good in the movie? Well, she's there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anybody could have done it. It's not, he wasn't stretching himself artistically to do it.
Absolutely.
Because I think it was at that time where they're trying to, cast him as like the next cute guy. And
Yeah.
Because he did a lot of movies around that time that they actually got better, like Chances Are and stuff like that. So, yeah, out of all those, I think you should probably see Shortcuts just because it's different. And, yeah. The one movie I really wanted to highlight, though, is I finally got to see. I wanted to see it when it was in theaters last year, and it's called Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really good. I mean, really good. It stars Logan Lerman, who I guess is Percy Jackson, what my niece told me.
Right, yes.
And I had no idea who that was. I had
He's also the son in 3:10 to Yuma.
Yep. And I had no idea who he was, and because my niece thinks he's like so cute.
When he's in something coming out too, because Cora was talking about him
Percy
when he was
Jackson
on the show. No, not Percy Jackson 2. There's something else.
Yeah, it is coming out.
Yes,
soon.
yes, but
yeah. Anyways, he plays basically a wallflower in high school. He's a freshman in high school, and he's an outcast, and he has no friends. And it starts off with him eating lunch all by himself, and he just it's a really touching story, and it's. He always loved his aunt who died in a car accident, and as the story unfolds, you find out how she died and why she died, and why he's so traumatized. And he gets his first friendship in high school is actually with his English professor. He's played by Paul Rudd, Mr. Anderson, and just great little scenes. And he knows the movie's really good. All the actors in it are really good.
So, what are the perks of being a wallflower?
That you can watch people. I don't know. They never really explain.
That's good.
I guess because he's going to write a book about it, and the whole thing, the whole movie is him deciding to write a book about all his friends. Because he's writing a diary because they say something that he has these blackouts, and he doesn't know why he has blackouts, and so he writes to help him think about what he was doing at the time.
yeah.
And it's really good. And I was telling James this at dinner. I start getting crying in movies, and Paul Rudd says this line because Logan Lerman's in love with Emma Watson's character, and she at the time she's dating this douchebag, and he says, Paul Rudd's character asks him what's wrong. He says, well, I just don't understand why so and so is dating so and so. He doesn't be specific, and Paul Rudd looks at him and says, well, you know what? People accept the love they think they deserve. And you're like, oh, they do. If you think you deserve to be treated like shit, then
Yeah.
you'll always be. So it's just a really cool story, and everybody should check it out because it's pretty good. It's a really good movie.
Good.
It's probably one I'll own when I get around to seeing it for $10
Yeah. When the Blu-ray is cheap.
when the Blu-ray's cheap. But if you know what, you can rent it.
Oh, for sure. I've seen it every bread box I've been at in the last.
So yeah, you
week.
should definitely check it out. Brad, what did you watch this week?
I got nothing. I'm sorry.
You didn't watch
What?
anything?
I did watch.
What did you watch
stuff.
last week?
Yeah. What did you watch last week?
I watched a lot of DS9, but you don't want to talk about DS9.
I
so.
totally. Are you kidding me? Now you're telling. Wait. No. Yeah. Did you start from the beginning?
Yeah, I'm on season 4 already.
Oh man.
So
DS9 is really good because I've sort of been.
it's all right.
I've got really. You only think it's okay?
It's getting better.
I hate. What I used to do is I would start watching it when I would go to bed. Like I'd start an episode, and if this is a rule that I borrowed from RJ, that if an episode starts and the first thing you see is a what are their names? The people with the ridged noses that live on the planet.
Bajorans.
The Bajorans. If the first thing you see is a Bajoran and it's a Bajoran episode, you just skip that episode because it's too much religion and nonsense. Like just move along. But all the political intrigue and all that stuff. Any of the episodes about O'Brien, man, that's a good show. You liking it? You don't want to talk about it?
I think it would just save time for me not to.
All right.
Same time. We're not constrained by time.
Yeah,
I don't feel like editing a 2-hour show.
This is the internet.
It's going to
baby.
take you that long to talk about it? What don't you like about it?
Did you watch anything else?
No, it's fine.
Is it hard going from Next Generation to that?
No, because there's actually some crossover episodes.
Was it
Yeah.
at the same time?
A little bit. There's a
sort of.
2-season overlap.
Yeah. And it was the next one in line.
Miles O'Brien is from Next Generation.
And Worf.
He's-
Worf ends
well,
up going to the show.
Eventually, yeah.
So it
I'm not
takes
there
place
yet.
at the same time period,
Yeah.
though, because a lot of...
Oh, right.
Star Trek I know is
Yeah.
in different.
Voyager, DS9, and Star Trek are all in the same,
Hmm.
or Next Generation are all in the same time period.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but yeah, watching the show, it's Next Generation. I was watching the show. DS9 I kind of put on, and then I watch it, and then if there's something I missed, I don't really stop to go back. I just keep
Right.
going.
yeah.
So I couldn't really tell you a lot of plot synopses
Do you
from the episodes.
do you
That's true.
own those DVDs too, or is those ones you stream?
I'm streaming on Netflix. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
like to own them, but
All of Star Trek is on Netflix at this point, which is
yeah.
awesome.
Which, by the way, Star Trek 2 is on Netflix right now,
Is
so
it?
you could
Nice.
enjoy it again.
I need to.
Are all of the movies on Netflix?
No, because
Oh,
I was
okay.
when I was doing the next gen ones with I don't think First Contact or Generations
It
is
isn't
on there.
because I was
Just
going to watch it last week.
Insurrection
Ah,
is.
Dude, I will just bring it to you.
Okay.
I know I should
Yeah.
just brought it to you too. And I think Nemesis is on there.
Yeah.
And they're on what's that Super HD? I don't get that.
I have no idea. No idea at all.
They label their stuff Super HD, and I watched it. And I was like, this is just
It's
HD.
it's better HD,
Yeah.
but it's still streaming, so it's not
Are they
as good as
downgrading
HD.
the other stuff? To
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the other stuff is actually 480, but they call it HD.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's getting better. I'm waiting for Worf to show up.
Yeah,
but
because it does get better then.
How many seasons does that one last?
8,
Wow.
7, I think.
same as Next Gen.
Yeah, I thought that was why they ended Voyager when they did, was because the other shows had all ended at 7. But I could be wrong.
Well, the first Star Trek was only
but I'm
3
proud of
seasons. So,
Yeah, but that was because it got canceled.
but yeah, I'll talk about it when I'm closer to being done
Cool.
Yeah,
with more specifics.
very cool.
What'd you watch, James?
Well, Vikings started, which is the new show on HBO. It's the new show on History Channel, which is, they've gotten a lot of critical praise for their scripted shows. Like Hatfields and McCoys was a really big deal because that was really good. But as far as I know, I think this is the first time they've done a series. Or at least it's, I don't know. It's the only one I can think of. Yeah,
scripted series,
yeah. It's not just a mini series. They're gonna go for a while. And Vikings basically it's about Vikings. And sort of drops you into the world of Vikings at the time. And the first main thing, and the thing that I always worried about with this is you've seen History Channel shows where they do reenactments and how fake those look. This doesn't look anything like this, like that. It's got the budget where it looks like a real
I heard it's actually pretty
history piece.
expensive.
Yeah, it looks like it. You see money on the screen when you're watching. If only in how much sacrifice the characters had to take, or the actors had to take to cut their hair so short and weird in order to be in the show. But it's about this guy who, he's from this village outside of the main town, and he has these ideas. He wants to be this great, remembered sort of guy, and he thinks that he can get rich by traveling west, by getting on a boat and going west. He doesn't, there's this myth that there is land out there, but nobody knows, and he's going to try. And he goes to his local king sort of lord and says hey, this is what I want to do. And then the local lord is seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you? But what's really cool is, the story doesn't proceed much in the first episode, but what's really neat is, because it is a History Channel show, and yes, they're fictionalizing some of it, and at a certain point we don't really know that exact how life for the Vikings was, but there were plenty of times where they would explain the way something works, or they would show you a little insight to the way their lives were, or how their court system works and stuff like that, and I'd go oh, huh. And I really felt like I was learning as I watched the show, in ways that other shows that are based in history, I always just sort of dismiss them as, well, you're fictionalizing this, so I can't trust it. But there's something about putting that History Channel name on there where I'm oh, okay, when you tell me that, when they needed to sail and they were going to sail through a storm, they looked through a piece of quartz and you could tell where the sun was in the sky by looking through that piece of quartz. I kind of believe that. I have to think well, they've got the resources at hand. They could actually talk to historians and say this is how they did it. And because who makes that up? That sounds like a real thing and not a made up thing.
A cartoon show told me you couldn't read in dreams. So
that's true. Yeah, no, I'm clearly gullible. I believe whatever I'm told.
Okay, has we've solved that yet? Has anyone tried to read in their dreams yet?
I do it all the time, and at this point, every time I see words in my dreams, I see it and I think, hey, I think I'm reading, and then the words all jumble just like in the show.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. It is deep in my brain.
Baby,
So
you're as mad as a hatter.
Yeah. At this point, I really can't read in my dreams. Thanks, Batman. Way to fuck up my brain. Continuing on the Scott Derrickson podcast we've been running for the last
Nice.
5 weeks, I watched The Day the Earth Stood Still, which
Cool.
Ryan lent to me, which is his 2008 remake, and it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I protested the movie when it came out, but the truth is I saw a lot of really good ideas in there, and there were some really cool moments, but yeah, that script is a little bit
I
messy.
felt the same way about it. There's moments where you're just like, oh, this is so fucking cool. Like, I
Yeah.
loved Gort in it. I thought, how he...
The idea of Gord as little tiny robots.
Yeah, that just disintegrated the world and stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's moments where it's really good. When you first meet him and
Yeah.
things
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Keanu is really good.
Oh, he's really good. In it.
I think the devil is in the details here, because it's things like the idea that some spoilers for all of The Day the Earth Stood Still. The idea that at some point this kid is going to take Klaatu to his father's grave because he's seen Klaatu fix another human that he just killed, and he takes him to his father's grave and is like, fix him. I know you have powers. Do it here. This is what I want. That idea for a scene is so good, and that is so the right place to take the movie and the right way to go for what is supposed to be a really introspective movie about who we are as humans. But unfortunately, the scene is not that impactful. Mostly in what actually happens in that scene. It's just not written around that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, the way they get there is quite simply that they are not at the graveyard, and Jaden Smith says, "Hey, I know where we can meet my mom," and then he takes him to the graveyard. It's very well, we need to get to this place, so let's just make the characters go there, say they want to go there. And those are the places where it bugs me. Plus, I have a huge problem with the way they change why Klaatu is there. The whole idea of he's here because he wants to save the Earth from humans is, I think, far less interesting than the actual story of The Day the Earth Stood Still. Because the idea that aliens come down to our planet and say, all of your infighting and all of this violence that you if you want to fight amongst yourselves, cool, fine. But do not bring that shit into space, because we don't mess around with that. And as soon as you start pulling that kind of shit in space, we will just kill you, because we can do that. That is such a cool idea and a great story and a lesson and an idea that I think is still relevant. And making it this whole, we're hurting the Earth and killing the toads or whatever thing. It feels lame. It doesn't feel like...
Did you watch the original?
It feels very forced. Oh yeah,
it came
dude,
with a
I own
Blu-ray.
it. Oh, I already owned it
On Blu-ray?
No, not on Blu-ray.
There's a Blu-ray of it in the
Ooh.
2008 version.
Oh man, I should have watched that while I
You
had it. Because I bet that old black and white movies like that, they look good when they get transferred.
Well, I didn't think it had Dick Van Dyke would look so good, but now
Right.
I'm a believer.
Oh yeah, well, and like I said, back when I got Casablanca and stuff like that, man, they look good. So yeah, it's not bad. I am more okay with the idea of them remaking that. Now I kind of want them to remake it again and do it right. But Scott Derrickson has some really cool stuff in this movie. There's some really great shots.
I agree.
And things where I was like, oh, that's cool. I see why he wanted to do this.
It had so much potential,
Yeah,
and then it kind of just
exactly.
flounders.
Yeah, he does a really good job with some broken pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And Jennifer Connelly is really good.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the last thing I watched, so we've got a fan at my work named Mike, and he's been bugging me for a while. He's like, James, you've got to watch this movie called No Retreat, No Surrender, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, sort of starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. And it's from 1986, and I went onto Netflix and could not even find it on Netflix, but the entire film is on YouTube. Just not even in clips like usual pirated movies on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It might be on there legally. I'm not sure, because no one cares about this movie.
It's one huge 90-minute.
It's one huge 90-minute clip on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know if this movie wants to be funny, but it's fucking hilarious. Basically, the story is this. It starts off, and Jean-Claude Van Damme is the muscle for this bad guy, this really wimpy-looking bad guy who shows up at this dojo and threatens this guy and is like, we want your dojo, man. And so he that's what this guy says. He's like, no, you can't have my dojo. And finally, Jean-Claude Van Damme kicks this guy in the face, And the guy's like, no, karate is not for violence.
Are these actual lines from the movie, or are you
They're
just...
pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Paraphrasing.
I'm sure at some point, like the dad in the movie is really hammy, so I'm sure at some point he says karate is not for violence. But so, and then his son runs over and is like, oh, and his son is Jason, and Jason is our main character, and so they move all the way to Seattle because they're like, oh man, let him have the dojo. We don't want Jean-Claude Van Damme to show up again because that was some shit, man. And then Jean-Claude Van Damme's not in the movie for a long time. And he goes to this. He moves into this new house, and as he's moving in boxes, like this black kid shows up with like a giant boombox over one shoulder and like riding a bike and like dribbling a basketball and all at the same time and rapping. And he's really corny and like has these bizarre like he is such a sort of cliche mid-'80s black sidekick, and I don't want to say
about
that
Van Damme.
No, yeah, totally. like it's really bad. To the point at which he does have like a full like freestyle rap scene in there.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know why. But then as he's moving in, he also meets the next villain of the film, which I kid you not, there is this fat kid leaning up against a car across the street, and in one hand he has an entire fucking cake, and he's just scooping cake into his mouth. Smears cake on his face, you know, as he's just eating cake, and he watches this guy move in, and he goes, "Oh, great, another Bruce Lee freak." That is an exact quote. "Oh, great, another Bruce Lee freak."
Once again, the fat people are vilified.
Yes,
right?
Yeah. So then he
never
keeps
get a
eating
break.
cake.
We're like the Middle Eastern people of the 2000s.
So the movie's called No Retreat, No Surrender, and that's Jason's thing. He says like "No retreat, no surrender," and his sidekick says that too.
Isn't
but then
that what they say in Galaxy Quest?
Never give up, never surrender is the other quest. But then like they get in fights with the fat kid, and the fat kid beats him up for some reason, like because he's not good enough at karate, because he's not a black belt yet. He's been doing it for like 3 years, but he's not a black belt yet.
Sweep the legs.
Yeah. And every time he fights the fat kid, like the fat kid keeps smearing food on his face. Like he finds
So how old is the
and-
fat kid?
I don't know, like not that much older than the kid is.
How is old? So it's like
they're
10-year-old
like in high
kids.
schools. No, they're like in high school. They're like high school age. Yeah, they're like Karate Kid. This is basically Karate Kid, but horrible. But he fights this kid, and he fights some other kids at the karate class, and he's like, you know what? I just gotta learn karate better so that I can be better at life. And I forgot to tell you, in Seattle apparently is where Bruce Lee is killed or is buried, and so there's a scene where he goes to Bruce Lee's grave with a bunch of flowers and like talks to Bruce Lee and like prays to him and is like, "Hey, I want you to teach me to be a better person." And so Bruce Lee here we go. And so Bruce Lee does.
Wait, what?
I was about to make a joke of like, "I can't, I'm dead," but he's not.
No. So then Bruce Lee shows up.
Naturally.
A door opens, like Weird Science style, and the light comes peering through, and not Bruce Lee, but
Okay.
some really doesn't look at all like Bruce Lee Asian guy comes through and is like, "I'm Bruce Lee." And then there is 20 minutes of this kid learning karate from dead Bruce Lee, like in a fever dream. And then the black sidekick will show up and see Jason just fighting with himself, and Jason like gets beat up and throws himself back like Fight Club, like he throws himself backwards through doors and stuff like that. And they just sort of laugh. And I think like, oh, the next scene, like he's gonna say like, "Hey, what are you doing learning from this guy?" No, the sidekick just laughs and like teaches him to run faster.
He's mentally disturbed.
Yeah, right. And then they go to dance. There's a whole long dance sequences in the movie
Naturally.
for no apparent reason. And then at the end, for some other reason, there is suddenly there's this karate contest, and all the kids that beat him up at the karate class earlier, they're fighting against these other guys, and these other guys are there from like New York or something to fight these Seattle kids, and they are hired by the wimpy guy who was there working with Jean-Claude Van Damme before.
No.
Because he's here to take over the dojo in Seattle.
No.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And so they're announcing like, oh, these guys are gonna fight. All these guys are gonna fight. None of them Jean-Claude Van Damme. Where's Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? And so the announcer's like announcing the fight, and the wimpy guy comes out there and he's like, you know what? There's no good karate guys in Seattle, so I'm not going to use my guys. All your guys are going to just fight one of my guys. And he brings out the Russian, and it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. And then Jean-Claude Van Damme just fights all those guys and beats them. And then Jason gets up there and takes his shirt off and fights Jean-Claude Van Damme. And it's not the worst fight. I mean, it's not great, but it's not the worst. And there's a couple good kicks in it, and like Jean-Claude Van Damme rips his shirt off at one point, and that's pretty cool. And there's this one point where, like, you know, Jason punches him real good and then holds his hand out and, like, does that thing like Neo from The Matrix where he beckons
Come
him.
at me, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And he goes, it gets better. And it's pretty good. That line is pretty good. But the movie is just hilarious all the way through, and I don't think it wants to be. That's the problem. But it was enjoyable.
So maybe one day I'll put on my Kindle, go to YouTube, and and watch.
Yeah. No retreat, no surrender. It was pretty bad.
That's all you watched?
Yeah, that's all I watched.
Great, because we got to pay some bills right now. The Comic-Con that is a mile above the rest returns in 2013, and it's bigger than ever.
That's right. Stan Lee's going to be at Denver Comic-Con this year.
They also have George Takei at Denver Comic-Con 2013.
Plus Kelly Hu and Will Wheaton.
Friend of the podcast, Georges Jonty, will be there. So go online to denvercomiccon.com where you can buy tickets. Stay tuned. VIP tickets for Stan Lee will be available.
For barbecue that can't be beat, try Birdman Barbecue Sauce. Available and original and spicy. These robust, full-flavor sauces have the awesome power to kick your taste buds in their face. And for that smoking taste on everything you eat, try new Birdman Smoke and Rub. Caution! Meat left unrubbed may suffer from flavor performance anxiety. You can pick up Birdman Barbecue at local area Ace Hardware stores, Ruff's Barbecue in Golden, and the Danny Cash Hot Shop off Broadway. You can also like us on Facebook at Birdman BBQ.
My man spider sense is tingling.
Hey, look, it's Man Spider.
How's it going, true believers? When I'm swinging through Colorado and I need comic books, I head to Arvada, Colorado, to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
Oh no, the teal troll is attacking me.
My son's in danger. Will no one help him?
Oh no, it's Man Spider.
Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, the whips the competition with great deals on back issues, 50% off, hold slot, 20% off list price. You want sports memorabilia? They got that too.
Where are you going, Man Spider? The teal troll still has my son.
Here's web in your eye.
Oh no, I'm bested by Man Spider again.
So visit 6700 Wadsworth Boulevard in Arvada, Colorado, and tell them the Real Nerd sent you. What was number one at the box office this week?
This is the box office stats.
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
do you know, actually?
Oh, no, I do know.
Oh, okay.
It was Jack the Giant Slayer at 27
27.
million?
Yeah.
Which they said was a bomb, which,
Yeah.
given its budget, yeah, but Die Hard made like 26 the week before, so...
Yeah, that was
Then-
also not good enough. But yeah, it's almost $200 million.
But they weren't like, Die Hard bombed.
Yeah. Well, but when the opening week is 10% of the budget,
Yeah.
that's really bad.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
they didn't really market it that much, though,
Well,
either.
and
Yeah.
this is the same conversation we had with John Carter last year. Was like John Carter didn't do that horribly. Like it made a lot of money, but it costs so much money. You know, it goes back to that whole J.J. Abrams thing of like, why is the movie costing that much? Maybe that's where you need to look. Maybe $200 million.
Well, how much
budgets.
you think Star Trek cost?
Wait, it cost $200 million, but that movie looks like $200
I
million.
mean, the Enterprise crashing into the water is worth the shot enough to me.
Yeah, I don't know what the new one costs, but
I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's pretty expensive.
oh yeah, no, I'm just saying like he knows how to save money in the right places. Actually, Star Trek, $150 million.
That's not bad.
Costs less than I'm making my point. Costs less than Jack the Giant Slayer. Looks better than Jack the Giant Slayer.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So Box Office Mojo is the place we go to get all box office stats. So, what do we do next? Fuck. We do what's coming out.
DVD releases.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
I've only been doing 91 of these guys. Come on, cut me a break.
Is it really 91? We're getting
Yeah.
close, man.
Yep.
Life of Pi.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not going to get that.
Which, I only want to bring this up because on the box art it says the next Avatar.
What?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's a quote from Time. It says, "The next Avatar, a visual miracle." I don't think
The box art's
anyone.
pretty cool.
It is. Yeah, actually, the whale on the box art looks way more realistic than the one in the movie. I don't think people know why they like that movie. I really don't.
They're also phasing out that blue at the top of each Blu-ray, that blue
Oh yeah,
header line. They're finally
I'm okay with that.
like, yeah, you corner the market. You don't need that anymore.
Yeah. No one's gonna get this confused with an HD DVD.
Yeah.
You know, I watched an interesting show on the History Channel about the history of home entertainment, and Sony was an exclusive maker of Betamax.
Yep.
And VHS crushed them because a Betamax could only house like an hour and 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and most movies were longer than that. But the picture quality on a Betamax was far superior, but because VHS could hold so much more, that VHS won.
Yep.
So
Also, porn supported them more. So
Yep.
That's the thing.
Well, yeah, I was trying to go for the History Channel version, and I mean, they eventually said
they left that part out.
no, they talked about porn too.
I read an interesting article back when that war was going on that brought up that same thing, that like, yeah, porn, that was a big deal, but that because everybody was looking to porn, everybody was looking at porn when that war was going on, because they thought like, well, whoever porn chooses, then that's who will win. But porn never wanted to, because porn didn't want any of their stuff to be in HD, because porn realized that porn doesn't look very good in HD.
But now,
Apparently, you can see a bunch of stuff you don't want to.
well, I'm guessing. Sure, I don't know. I don't own
Yeah.
any porn Blu-ray, so I can't
Yeah.
verify that for you. But I'll let you know.
Anyway, speaking of porn, Rise of the Guardians also comes out this week.
Which was my cousin's favorite movie from last year, so now I have to see it.
Yeah, I know. I want to see it too, just because of Guillermo del Toro. There's a version that comes with walking Easter eggs.
Cool.
I love when they
Oh,
bundle
dude,
stuff with
Roger
movies.
Rabbit's next week.
Yeah, Who
Fucking
Framed
A.
Roger Rabbit? The new Blu-ray release comes out next week. Only $17.
$17
on
I'm
Amazon.
buying it as soon as we're done with this.
Yeah,
Finally went down. Sweet, I'm buying it.
yeah.
No, I'm buying it when we're done here.
Yeah. I should buy it right now. I should
Yeah.
just
Oh,
click
dude,
it.
Willow too.
Yeah, Willow gets a Blu-ray DVD combo release next week, which I don't want to watch.
Why?
I don't think that movie stands up very well.
I
think
haven't
the whole
seen it in years.
the whole ending with like the claymation stuff, it doesn't look real good.
You can go online right now and see George Lucas swinging a sword from Willow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Mad Mardigan is really good though.
I always
That's
thought
still-
the bad guy in it was really cool with the skull mask, and he had the beard
Oh, yeah.
underneath.
yeah.
Right.
Disney is re-releasing The Hunchback of Notre Dame on Blu-ray this week. Does anybody care? Do you like Hunchback?
It's all right. It's darker. It's one of those movies I'll rewatch, but I'll wait till it's not $25.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, it's Disney. That may not ever happen.
You know what's weird is they usually sell it like, here's Mulan 1 and Mulan 2, or
Hmm?
The Lion King 1 and Lion King 1.5, but the Hunchback one is just like The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Conveniently, there is a Mulan 1 and Mulan 2 release this week. Hitchcock also finally comes out this week. So
Sweet. I'm
fucking
looking
see
forward to
that
see it.
movie. Oh man, it's so good. Sound City, which is a documentary by Dave Grohl about this little recording studio in LA that was a really big deal, but then because of the way recording studios have gone, it's gone bankrupt.
I heard that studio, the mixing board was like specifically like handcrafted by this famous engineer, and that's why it's so amazing.
Yeah, I want to see it. It looks really good. The first season of Ripper Street comes out this week, as well as This Must Be the Place, which is that shitty-looking Sean Penn movie where he pretends like he's in The Cure. That did not get very good reviews.
Does anybody like Sean Penn here?
No.
I've never met the man.
You know who likes Sean
No, I
Penn?
mean like him as like his movies he's in.
Oh no,
Yeah, I can't think of a movie that.
Spicoli?
Like,
I Am Sam. No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I mean, I think there
His
are definitely.
wife was cool.
I love Robin Wright. There are definitely Sean Penn movies that I think are good, but not because of him.
I guess Mystic River's pretty good.
Never
Yeah.
seen it.
got a lot of acclaim for Dead Man Walking, right?
Yeah,
Never seen it.
Never seen it either.
I was just curious because he seems
I guess
like
I haven't watched a lot of.
he's one of those guys
his
where everyone
movies.
thinks it's a big deal, but he's not in movies that very many people see.
Yeah.
Just wondered.
And I just think he's obnoxious. I wish he would shut his mouth when he wasn't in movies.
Right.
The Game.
The Game.
He's in The Game.
The Game's a great
and
movie.
that's great.
I love the box art for the Criterion.
Yeah.
Anyways,
those are the releases this week.
Digital Bits. You can click on box art there.
And then you can order Who Framed Roger Rabbit straight through them and give them a little money,
Sure.
which is great.
And I'm going to.
I am too.
$16.99? Are you kidding me? That's amazing.
Oh, absolutely. All Blu-ray prices should be that low.
Unspool Real News.
It's real news.
Some kind of interesting stuff this week.
Yeah.
James, what do you got?
First, I don't know why I'm starting with this one, but Whose Line Is It Anyway is returning to the CW.
You know, I always loved that show.
Good. This is why I wanted to bring it up, because I want to know if you got. We've never talked about this. I adore that show.
I like the British version.
You pretentious ass.
I
should have known you were going to say that.
Which still has Colin Mockery and Ryan Stiles on it.
I know. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Well, Wayne Brady's good.
What it used to be on Comedy Central, like,
Oh yeah.
Late 90s,
yeah, like from 9 in the morning till about noon.
Yeah, they were showing it just
The
constantly.
whole marathons on
And I
it.
used to love it because, when I was in theater, all those things they do for improv, I used to do all
yeah,
the
we
time.
did those, yeah.
So I really like the show, and
Yeah.
I think all the guys are in it are really funny and talented. When they had to do, even Wayne Brady, people make fun of him.
Yeah.
But, when they would pick a song for him to sing and he could just hammer it out.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, amazing.
It's
And he was
amazing.
still that's the thing. Wayne Brady, Colin Mockery, and Ryan Stiles, who are all apparently returning, were always better than the guest, and they were always better, obviously, than Drew Carey, who is not coming back. But also, like, you realized how amazing they were at doing that. And sure, I'm
Yeah.
sure there are other improv people out there who are just as good or better. But man, that show. Every now and then, like a video from there will pop up on Reddit, and you just can't help but laugh.
I
They
agree.
were hilarious. So I think it's great. Aisha Tyler is gonna be the new host.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I like
that's
her.
fine. She can't be worse than Drew Carey.
She did a nice interview on Smodcast. I listened to. Yeah.
She's really cool. What are we gonna? So a bunch of studios this week have decided they've all signed an agreement, and they're gonna actually do satellite distribution of films, which is kind of a big deal because at this point it will mean that certainly mainstream movies will never have film copies. I mean, they might print some film versions for theaters that don't have digital projections, but they aren't physically moving movies from one place to another anymore. They've agreed on a way that they think they can safely not get pirated by traveling it
Yeah,
through the
but the thing that
airspace.
sucks is, like, satellites are so unreliable.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, but they probably will do that all a week or two in advance of when the movie releases. I doubt that there's going to be a time where, like, oh, you want to go see Batman, but we're waiting for the movie to buffer from the satellite. Like,
I went and saw a Rod Stewart concert on one of those Fathom Event Center
Oh, yeah?
things, and it was horrible because it kept on, like, breaking up, and they'd have to go back and show some of it again, and then it kept on breaking up again.
really?
Yeah, I don't want that to happen
And you
at
left
all.
the theater, and you're just like, yeah, the satellite kept going in and out, and they're just like, yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Well-
I mean, but then they would, then they replayed it, and then it'd keep on breaking up again.
Yeah.
And the thing that sucks is,
But
I
they
mean,
still kept your money.
yeah, I mean, and eventually they fixed it, but it took them like 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and
But-
Wait, so you had to wait 30 minutes too, like in addition to
yeah,
like, oh, wow, and they kept your money.
yeah,
Wait, and in the end, you had to watch Rod Stewart sing.
yep.
Don't even go there, man.
I'm just kidding.
He will cut you.
Bitch.
But no, that's
I
not
will
that's not
end
what,
you.
that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the way it works now is they ship hard drives with a movie on it to theaters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how they actually get the movie. Or when there's releases or like sneak previews and stuff like that, they have to send a liaison who that person knows how to get onto the internet, access the film, and download the film through the internet and stuff like that. Like that's what we're talking about. We're talking about getting just distributing the movies entirely digitally.
That sucks for podunk theaters.
Yeah.
Like when I was in Redstone, all they were showing was Lincoln. Because
Oh,
they
wow.
have room for one movie.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
Well,
they don't
good
have like
choice.
satellite link up. Like they wait for the truck to arrive.
Oh, for sure.
And that's not going to come anymore.
Well, no. I'm sure that they're probably still making enough movie money off of that. If only in the DVD sales of the people in that town, that they still want to be able to promote that stuff and have movies there. I'm just saying that your big theaters are not going to get actual reels of film pretty much at all anymore, which I'm fine with. And I know that like inside of like movie geek culture, that's not cool to say, but you know what? The medium is
Christopher
not.
Nolan's never going to be on our show.
Yeah, well, but the medium is not what is great about. Like that's not the message. You know, if technology finds better ways to get the story that you're trying to tell me to me and have it look crisp and beautiful on a big screen, that's fine. I don't need it to be on celluloid. Like, I don't. You know, I don't.
Anyways, I mean, it's going to happen eventually. So
Yeah, exactly. Did you guys see the trailer for Much Ado About Nothing?
yeah,
Oh,
cool.
it looks good. It looks so good. Let's see. There's not going to be any Sam Mendes Bond movies anymore. He has officially said.
For now. I mean,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he said he's not going to do 24.
Martin Campbell did Goldeneye and then came back 10 years later for
Casino
Royale. So
Yeah. I don't know who I would want to do it now. I mean, once you get Sam Mendes on there, my thought
Steven
is like,
Spielberg.
dude, Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan.
well, I would love Christopher Nolan to do it. That would
British.
never happen. There's no way. Like, I could see like what I was gonna say is once they've got Sam Mendes, they've got big directors on there. You could get like a Danny Boyle or somebody like that, but there's no way
don't
they'd
see
get.
They should have
Boyle
grabbed him
Bond.
before he started. What is it, Transcendence or
Yeah, Interstellar.
Interstellar? Yeah, they should have grabbed him before he started that because perfect
Yeah.
timing.
I don't think Danny Boyle's that great of a director. I don't want to see him do Bond.
All because of 120. 1 hour.
Even I love
127
28 Days Later, but it also has that stupid cutting and people always doing drugs and stuff. So I'm gonna have to have James Bond put like drug eye drops on his eyes, and then he's gonna be like tripping out and stuff, and then he's gonna see like it's gonna flash back to that one girl who died in Casino Royale, and fuck, it's gonna suck.
A lot of trippy drug moments in Slumdog Millionaire that I forgot about.
No, there is one scene where
There is. Thank you.
where a kid gets some drugs dropped in his eyes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, but he gets blinded. He's not getting drugs dropped in his eyes.
Yeah, but still.
They
Whatever.
did that shit in Clockwork Orange, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Danny Boyle didn't direct Clockwork Orange.
I know. I'm just saying, like he
Oh, yeah.
took
But
that from that.
but he did direct Train Spotting and 28 Days Later, and then 127 Hours. You know, where everyone's hallucinating and it's like that quick cut shit.
Yeah,
Just saying, he's not that good of a director.
I think he's really great. Anyway, did you see Millions? He doesn't do any. Nobody does just drugs in Millions.
I haven't seen Millions.
It's a cute little movie.
And look, it's not. I like his movies.
Yeah, I know you do. Of course, they don't do drugs, but there's still those trippy things because the kid is talking to God. So I guess, yeah. Anyway,
Lawyered.
I'm just gonna defer to you on this one. Tell me about Evil Dead 4.
Well, Evil Dead 4, Sam Raimi mentioned in an interview that he was going to write Evil Dead 4 this summer, and then he was asked about that, and he says, well, I'm going to shoot around some ideas.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, so basically it's like, probably not.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would.
I
would
mean, I
totally be up
love
to see
Drag Me
one.
to Hell, and
Yeah,
so I think it'd be cool for him to do horror again.
absolutely. We've never talked about this. Do you guys like X-Files? Did you ever watch X-Files?
Yeah.
I started watching it, and then I got distracted. I mean, I've been enjoying it, what I've been watching, and I told you I would, after I finished watching the series, I'd let you know. I've made it almost 3/4 of the way through the first season in a couple months. So.
Yeah, that's about how far I got when I tried to get through X-Files, 10 years ago. I bring it up because David Duchovny has started talking about wanting to do another one. I mean, he's not doing the legwork to get another one made. He's just saying, I want fans to demand another one. But the truth is, fans all hate the X-File movies, so I don't know why fans would want another one. But
And he probably needs fans to demand it because you see the box office returns for Phantom, the lowest grossing movie ever for how many
Really?
theaters? It's like $500,000 in like over 1,500 theaters
Wow.
for like a per theater average of $400. So that means like 3 people were in each theater for each showing last week.
Yeah, but he's got all that Californication money, and he's having sex with Maggie Grace. Like, he's doing okay. I think he just wants to do another X-Files movie, and that's cool. I would love for him to do one that's good.
I
like
think I've seen
idea
the
of
first
X-Files.
one.
I actually like the first one. I think it's decent. I never saw I Want to Believe because everybody said it was just awful.
Well, you can get that in a Blu-ray combo for like $10.
Oh, good.
Both movies.
Anyway, that's news. Unless you guys got anything.
No.
Oh, and
Brad?
and next season is probably the last season of Dexter, which is good.
Isn't it like its 8th season?
Yeah.
It's about
And
time.
it's at a place where it's like, yeah, okay, you've run the gambit. Let's wrap this shit up.
Time to dig into the long box, boys, and pull out a comic book to read.
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
Don't sound too excited about it.
I don't keep my trade paperbacks in long boxes.
I don't either. This last week I was mailed a comic book to read.
It's another snail mail.
Snail mail from Cora, who was on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And she mailed us a copy of The Boys, which Michael mentioned on our show that we should read.
Yeah.
And I read the first trade, and I mean, I appreciate her sending it to me, and I always love reading comic books, so
Yeah.
I mean, Michael talked about it. It's about these guys, these superheroes whose job is to regulate superheroes.
Yeah.
They're paid for by the CIA. It's written by Garth Ennis, who did Preacher.
Yeah.
And did he do Hellblazer too?
Yeah, he did Hellblazer for a while.
And so, I mean, I'm exposed a little bit to him, and I mean, there's some parts in it that I enjoyed. I liked. I won't spoil it, but you find out that that it's not everything that's meant to be, and the opening was pretty shocking, where the Simon Pegg looking guy, who's named Huey, he's hanging out with his girlfriend and how much he loves her, and all of a sudden they're like spinning in a carnival, like he has her by her arms, and she gets smashed by a superhero fighting a supervillain, so he's holding her like stump arms because she just got obliterated by a superhero, and the superhero is this cocky American who runs away and says, "Sorry, bye." And so he's
that's kind of awesome.
He's recruited by this guy named Butcher to basically surveillance these superheroes because they're not regulated. And so there's some cool moments in it. The thing I couldn't get past, I think the art's not very good in it. I think the art's horrible.
Yeah.
Sometimes the eyes are like at different levels, and it really drives me nuts. And then there's lots of disproportionate bodies in it. So it kind of irritated me. But, I mean, the idea is cool. I might pick up the second trade just to see where the story goes.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting.
It's published by Dynamite.
Yeah.
I've never been crazy about them.
So James will have it this week. Then maybe then after James has it, Brad, you can read it. Then we can spoil it.
I opened it straight to, like, doggy style sex.
Yep.
Well, this will be fun.
That's Butcher fucking the director of the CIA.
Oh, good. And then there's a used condom.
Yep.
Can I read
that
it
sounds like
before
Garth Ennis
James?
to me.
Sweet.
Oh, here's a lady thrown up in a toilet.
Yeah, because she just gave the whole team blowjobs.
Oh,
So-
yep. It's a Garth Ennis book, ladies and gentlemen.
Garth
at some
blowjob
point-
Ennis.
At some point, there is a lady made out of meat. Man.
So, James, make sure you read The Boys and let me know what you think next week.
I will. And if I don't like it, I'll talk about another book too.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, thank you, Cora, anyways.
Absolutely,
Like I
yeah.
said, I'll probably pick up the second trade, maybe on my Kindle, because I was looking and I can download it on my Kindle.
You won't pick it up. You won't pick it up on your Kindle. You'll go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics and pick it up, where you get like 20% off.
Yeah, dumbass.
Come on.
Oh, that's true.
Don't be dumb. Seriously.
God, I gotta quit being a dumbass.
Seriously. You know what? My favorite moment. One of my favorite moments in It's Always Sunny is when Charlie's doing the commercial for Kitten Mittens, and there's that point where he's like, are your cats making too much noise? Do you think there's nothing you can do about it? You're so stupid. like where he's just yelling at his audience, like, you're a dumbass. Oh man, it's great.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah, thanks,
sounds
Cora.
good.
James will read it, and then we can talk about it some more.
I'll probably end up liking it.
Yeah, there's some moments that are pretty good in it, but it's also really weird.
Yeah. Garth Ennis.
Yeah. Get past the art, maybe.
I used to read Hackslash, and that is way worse art than that is.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of vein, just the way it's digitally painted. It kind of comes across that way.
This week, we saw Oz, the Great and Powerful.
Yeah.
James, should people go see Oz, the Great and Powerful?
Yeah, they should. It's really good. Universally, just everybody should go see this movie.
Brad, should people go see Oz, the Great and Powerful?
I guess so. It's a mixed bag for me. It's got some good parts and it's got some not so great parts for me.
Yeah.
I think so too. I thought with James, I actually kind of liked the movie a lot. It was funny. It had a nice blend of Sam Raimi in it.
Yeah.
And again, he's such a cool
the
director.
Sam Raimi parts were the best parts of it.
Oh, of course.
Well, the
Everything
Sam Raimi
else is
parts,
like,
Yeah.
all the Disney parts were like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
So here's a trailer for Oz the Great and Powerful.
Kansas is full of good men. I don't want to be a good man. I want to be a great one.
You're gonna need this!
I don't want to die! I haven't accomplished anything yet! Please! Am I dreaming?
You're in Oz. I'm Theodora the Good Witch.
Where's your broom?
You don't know much about witches, do you? It's the Emerald City. You are here at last, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled. This is my sister, Evanora. I'm here to serve you. The royal treasure of Oz. It belongs to you, but only after you defeat the Wicked Witch.
Just how wicked is she?
Towns were destroyed. Children were orphaned. Great wizard from Kansas. I've waited for you to come and set things right.
Me?
Did those crows just say we're gonna die?
Your magic is the only thing strong enough to save us all.
Please tell me you gentlemen can fight.
No.
But we sing.
Guys, take 5. I might not actually be a wizard.
Yes, but they don't know that. You're capable of more than you know.
Are you the great man we've been waiting for?
I think I could be.
It's cool to see Sam Raimi. I was telling my wife, I think this is the actual first genuine kids movie he's made. Which, I mean, it's not a total children's movie.
Yeah, like
but,
don't take your 4-year-old.
Yeah, but I mean, I loved it because it started just like The Wizard of Oz, where it starts in 4:3 frame. It's in black and white. And James Franco's entrance is great. I actually think James Franco's really good in the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Because
especially in the black and white sequence. Like,
And those opening credits were pretty cool.
Oh, the opening credits
Yes.
were really cool.
I actually wish they were widescreen.
Yeah.
They're being so limited. It's like, they're so
Yeah.
beautiful. They deserve to be stretched out.
yeah.
But I mean, in it, he plays Oscar Diggs, who is a magician,
Con artist.
at a traveling circus, kind of like Barnum and Bailey's, I guess, in the 1900s.
Carnival.
Yeah, traveling carnival. And he's, putting the moves on his newest assistant, and he gives her the box that his grandma gave him when she died in a war, and he's trying to make up this battle, and it's really cool because it's just a great moment because you realize that for him to become what he needs to become to be the Wizard of Oz is he's really far from it, and he's a con artist, and it's really well done. The performance of James Franco, it has a lot of Sam Raimi touches to it, where it's kind of hammy. But
at the same time is very much focused on giving you a good insight into who that
I mean, not
character is,
hammy in
'cause
a bad way. I mean,
No.
hammy in he's playing a character. He's not even being really who he is.
Right. Those moments where he puts on his sort of Oz the Great and Powerful, face, and is like, "Hey, I'm a wizard." Those moments are what you're talking about. That very Sam Raimi.
And I love too after he did the show and he made the girl disappear, and they said, "Oh, we can see the wires." He cuts the wires down, and the girl disappears. And that little girl says, "Will you fix my legs?" And oh man, it's so good.
Yeah.
because he wants to say to her that he can't, but then he gets mad at his assistant because he didn't save him off the stage, and
And those two dynamics influence like two other stories later in the
exactly.
Yeah, like
movie.
that is what the movie is getting at, and to do it in such a humanistic way at the beginning, and really drive this idea home of like he is pretending to be something that he cannot actually be is awesome. Like and kind of daring, like because it's a ballsy scene like that happens, and everybody is very suddenly uncomfortable. Like I think even in the audience, obviously in the audience in the movie, but also in the audience at home, you're just like, oh man, it's hard.
Yeah, and it eventually gets sucked up in a tornado, which I think is actually a really good scene too. I thought it shot really well.
And in black and white, the CG looks really good.
Yeah, and he gets then he ends up going to the land of Oz, and it's a really cool movie, and there's parts in it where it looked fake, but I think it was supposed to look fake. You know what I mean? Because
it sort of looks fake in that Alice in Wonderland way of like, hey, this is stylized, and like everything looks like candy, which I don't think is necessarily good, but I think it's a choice.
Well, for me, it's just like they're obviously standing in front of a green screen. Like
Right.
the whole room is just a big green wall to me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not for people who aren't as trained of an eye, but that was just frustrating. It's like,
Oh, no,
I know
I
you
agree.
can put some real stuff in the foreground. It doesn't all need to be pure CGI.
and
But sometimes
he did eventually, like when
Eventually, but there's
Oz crashes into at the end. He's actually on a set there. You can tell.
yeah, like the
And that's what I mean.
Quadling world. Yeah, but like when they're just walking through the countryside.
Right, yeah.
it's just
The
like,
wilderness of Oz looks very fake, but the city of Oz, I think, looks really real.
yeah,
And I think it has to have been some sort of choice because,
or it might be the 3D conversion that's
Yeah.
doing it. I don't know.
I don't know, but those little water fairies were really funny
Yeah.
because you expect it to go one way, and the way it's played, where he wants to whistle, and
Yeah.
it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Which for that, I don't know why they didn't do a 3D shot for that one, like spitting in his face. Like that could just the water could have
Exactly.
come out, but they chose to do a profile anyway.
Well, there's plenty of 3D stuff that happens in the movie, and we didn't see it in 3D. It should be clear.
Which I
But
should
you
probably
could-
see. I think it's going to look pretty good in 3D.
Yeah, I
but you
think
could tell where they were like. There's just minutes of time where it's like we're just doing this to show off the 3D.
especially like some of my favorite Sam Raimi moments, like when he's in the balloon and all the wood is poking through, which is that's a very like Army of Darkness kind of moment, like with the hands coming at his eyes.
Yeah, and I think
that in 3D I think would be really cool.
I think too, where he became the most comfortable as Sam Raimi was, the darker parts.
Yeah.
Where he could kind of be goofy. I mean, the whole movie actually works for me, and there's parts, where you meet the monkey, Finley. I think looks really good in moments, like really
Really?
good.
Oh yeah, I think Finley looks. I think that Finley as CG isn't the best, but I think Finley as animation is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, there's just
like the
moments,
facial animation. I think is great.
There's some parts. There's this one scene where like the sun's reflecting off him. I think it looks really good. But I think for the most part, he's okay. But the little China girl is amazing.
He's paled in comparison by the China girl.
Oh,
yes.
She is.
The
Whoever
China
did
girl
that
is
was
amazing.
Well, but yeah, I agree. But at
master.
the same time, I think that they didn't like. There are times where when the actual people interact with her, it doesn't.
Oh yeah,
look
when
good.
they hold her or pick
When
her
they
up,
hold her,
it's like she's
she
floating
looks-
around.
Yeah,
But when
yeah.
she's just on her own walking around,
Yeah,
like,
she looks
oh
really
my
good.
gosh.
Yeah, and there's that funny scene too where she wants to come with him to kill the Wicked Witch, and she says, "Oh, we're gonna go kill the witch," and she starts skipping
Yeah.
and jumping,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
She pulls out a knife later. It's like
There's a lot of little details. Like the first time when we first meet Mia Kunis, Theodora, and when she first walks away, she does that walk like she's in Oz, where like her hands are sort of waving at her side as she walks by. Like there's a lot of little nods and stuff like that in there that are really neat.
yeah, and again, and what's cool too is James Franco's Oz. He actually progresses as a character throughout the whole movie, and he realizes that he can't be a phony guy in this real life and death struggle that they're having.
Yeah, because even though there is like an inciting moment where he fully makes that transition into I'm gonna be the hero, which is when he puts the China doll to bed and comes up with the idea of how to save him. The truth is there are moments of the fact that when he is at that city with Glenda and he's walking and he admits to her like, look, I'm not who I say that I am, and he's really straightforward about it. That is one little step on the way of him actually becoming better, which in a lesser movie, that's like one moment. They come up with some moment where it's like, oh, somebody's going to tell him this, and he's just going to instantly learn the lesson and be good from now on. Like they do a good job of pacing that transition and really making him seem like he is getting to be friends with these people, so that in the end you really believe it when he's like, hey, this is my family.
And it's cool. I'm going to get into really big spoilers here.
Oh, for sure.
But I also I'm going to skip over Theodora real quick, but I love the transition for James Franco where he's able to use being a con man into becoming the Wizard of Oz, because everybody knows that the original wizard he's a fake.
Right.
So to see how he got there and how he made it, I thought was a really cool idea, because you knew eventually he was going to get these witches away, and
I had no idea how, though. The truth is, and I when that scene came up, when he finally realizes like how he's going to do it, I was sitting there going, "This is going to make or break this movie." Like, his idea has got to be believable and cool, otherwise, because I have no idea how he's going to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, how is he going to trick these witches? They're obviously their game is better than his.
Yeah, and it is.
And I will say too that really big spoilers. Mila Kunis becomes the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah.
And her transformation from being that really sweet innocent to the Wicked Witch, I think, is pretty good.
That was a neat twist, I thought.
When she cried and it scarred her.
Yes, when she cries and it burns into her flesh is awesome. That is one of maybe my favorite moment in the movie. Because they did that and it was just so badass. Like it was the one moment that would make a person make that movie just so they could film that.
Because also when you watch the trailers, you figure that Rachel Weisz's character would become the Wicked Witch of the West, because you saw the trailer where she's making the monkeys go after him.
Yeah, right.
But her transformation is pretty startling, and that she's able to pull. I thought she was actually pretty scary. When she's gonna kill Glinda and she's shooting those fireballs in the air, and
yeah, she's not bad.
So I really enjoyed it.
I mean, it's a little bit like the makeup. I think is a little bit weird. It's just weird to look at, like a green person, but
I think they're just they had to play a little bit of the homage to the old one. Where
yeah.
It's and it's funny too. There's foreshadowing where James Franco's Oz says, "You're a witch. Where's your warts and your flying broom?" And so Mila Kunis gets the flying broom, but when what was it? Evanora was her name?
Yeah.
When she loses her wicked power, she becomes kind of the hag from Army of Darkness.
Straight up.
It was great.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really well done. It was fun. And it was scary. Well, not like terrifying, but I mean, it had some scary moments in it.
Yeah, the baboons are pretty scary.
The baboons were scary.
I have a feeling that where Brad's going to go as far as what things aren't good is that, and I this is what I feel. There are some times where it doesn't necessarily drag, but it sits in its being an homage and being a setup to other movies. Like, it spends a lot of time, like, there's
a lot of exposition parts.
Yeah. That we probably didn't need, because like probably everybody has seen The Wizard of Oz.
Well, I think they could. There's ways to do that, like just doing detective work without having just like, let's just tell the audience what they need to know. Like
these are the
there's a way to make it discovery for the audience that they just didn't do.
Yeah,
it's weird when they just show up to the graveyard and there's the Good Witch, and
right.
Which thinking back, I guess now she's just visiting her dead dad's statue, but
yeah, right.
It's just like it's a kind of weird setup for that, and like the floating bubbles stuff.
Actually, but I liked when she's like, if you're pure of heart and a good person, you get through it. And James Franco's like, I'm gonna fucking die. Wait, didn't say fucking. That's sweet. I'm gonna fucking die.
And then like in the final battle, like there's too much time where Oz is just saying like, I am the great and powerful over and over again. Like they're waiting for something else to happen that's not happening.
Yeah.
It's just like, you can cut that down, and then the girls are just yelling. It's almost like Akira, like Tetsuo Kaneda back and forth.
Tetsuo! Yeah.
It's just like, move it along. Yeah.
I hear you. But I was so surprised by...
And there's just hand link cuffs already set up, like, on the front porch of the castle. Like,
yeah, that's where they put them.
Yeah.
They knew,
Always ready to
chain up a witch to kill her.
Exactly.
They conjured a spell to bring him there.
Yeah. that was pretty cool that she
the poppies?
She uses the
Yeah.
that she uses the magic to make the music box to put that one little insight of doubt into Theodora.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
that is her sort of arc and the way that he treats her and how that makes Theodora just fucking turn is really good.
Also, all the prophecy shit. Like I see
Yes.
that in bad movies so much lately
Yes.
that it's unfortunate that this one has to bear the brunt of it.
Yeah, every time they talked about it, I was like, because the truth is,
Like we have this prophecy.
You could so easily take it out of the movie and go, "Oh, you're a wizard. You can help us."
Yeah.
Like it's that.
It doesn't have to be like, "Oh, we foretold that you're going to arrive." And
it's
just
like, "Oh, you're a wizard. We've said that if somebody can stop the evil witch, they get all this gold." You know.
See, what you guys missed, and which I don't know if it had anything to do with it, but what I got giddy is the hero from the sky is from Army of Darkness, and that the prophecy is the same from Army of Darkness.
Oh no! Oh, that's pretty good though.
I pray that you would save me.
Give me some sugar, baby. Oh, he should have said that when at the end when he's got Glinda behind the curtain. He should be like, "Give me some sugar, baby."
That would have been sweet.
Yeah,
I still think when they reached to see what Evanora turned into, and then Bruce Campbell characters showed up. Get an axe.
Yeah, it's a trap. Which that was the other thing. It took me a second to realize it was Bruce Campbell. Like the very first shot of him, I was like, what? I didn't notice it, and I was like, oh shit,
Yeah, me too. Because
Bruce Campbell's
he's
here.
in the credits. I'm like, Bruce
the
Campbell.
opening credits, yeah. So it's like, oh, he's got a big part, and he's like, yeah.
Then I
No.
didn't see him from him. Is he one of the CG characters or
Yeah,
something?
did I miss something?
I bet he went to Sam Raimi and was like, I just want you to write in a character who can get beat up by a munchkin.
And I bet the person who was hitting him with the stick was Sam Raimi.
Probably.
Because that's like his big thing that he does in every movie.
That's a guy, yeah.
In
you're
Spider-Man,
right.
when he drops his books, he's the one who's hitting him in the face with the backpack. And Evil Dead, he's hitting Bruce Campbell with the sticks. So that's kind of Sam Raimi's. And so overall, I think you should go see the movie. Because it's fun.
I definitely think it was good.
It's definitely one of the best movies I've seen this year.
Yeah, it's like this and Hansel and Gretel. All witch movies this year, man, are good.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, this is the year of the witch,
Year of the
2013. Year of the witch, Witch Quest, 2013.
Witch Quest. So, if you want to win a copy of the horror movie The Perfect House, make sure you go to Real Nerds Podcast and click on the review, and there's a little comment section in there. Just leave a comment and say, hey, I want to win a copy, and then we'll enter you in a drawing to win a copy. I have 6 of them, so, make sure you do that.
Yeah.
You can also email us, realnerds@gmail.com. You can tweet us, real_nerds. Call us, 720-6nerds5. Leave comments on our webpage, like I just said. Like us on Facebook. Download us on iTunes. Listen to us on Stitcher. Stream us on our website. Oh, my gosh, you can find us in so many ways. Next week, we're seeing Burt Wonderstone with a couple of filmmakers from Denver. Oh, my gosh, this has been another exciting episode of Real Nerds Podcast. A Nebulous Visions Productions. See Brad's new website, nebulousvisions.com. It's amazing.
Thank you.
You spent a lot. That one looks really good too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you play around with it?
I did. It's amazing. So Brad, quite the web designer. Very impressive. So without Nebulous Visions Productions, this would not even be possible.
It's true.
So thank you, Nebulous Visions Multimedia Production.
Oh yeah, this is cool. It hadn't all loaded yet, but this is cool. Oh, dude, it's badass.
Yeah, but you can move across. It's pretty awesome. I'll let you.
I'm just gonna fade this out.
Yeah, let's fade it out.
No,
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.